Okay, so another one of our another terminology that we're going to utilize in this chapter is humanity. And there are several definitions. However, I have provided three of them for you. The first is the entire group of human beings. That is what humanity is. Another definition is the state or feature of being a human being. And lastly, to care very much or relate to the problems or struggles of issues that human beings deal with. And synonyms for humanity are humankind, human nature, and big heartedness. And so, what I've provided for you, so you can really have a deeper understanding of the terminology humanity, I've provided some example sentences for you. The first one says, she had little pity for humanity in general. So that means, and that goes with the first definition, just entire group. So that means that whoever this she pronoun is, she didn't really have any type of regard. She didn't care for human beings. Yet she is one, right? Okay. The second example is he didn't have an ounce of mercy or humanity in him. That refers to the second definition, the state or feature of being a human being. So it's saying he didn't have an ounce of mercy or humanity in him, meaning that if he was half a human, or if he had any type of human capabilities, he would have definitely had mercy on whomever needed the mercy. But here it's saying that he didn't. So the last example says, my job is to protect the fate of humanity, and I do it well. So that means to care very much for. And that is an example of the last definition, number 3. So the first two definitions of humanity, number 1 is an example of humankind. Like I said, World War I's unprecedented number of casualties affected the future of humanity. That's another example, and it's an example of humankind. And another example from the actual novel, soldiers' horrific experiences on the front affected their humanity, meaning the quality of them being human, making them act like animals and wild beasts. That means that they were no longer like you and I, because they had seen too much, they had to endure too much, and they had to do too much. And so out there, it was survival of the fittest, meaning that you had to survive. So whatever that meant, you had to do it. And so basically they're saying they were acting like wild beasts out there. They weren't human, they were animals. And that's an example of that there. I also wanted to go over here and go over that what you're going to do is, we already know what conclusions do. Conclusions basically sums up the entire essay, sums up the entire movie, sums up the entire novel or text for us, okay? So I want to reflect on our text. I want us to reflect on the handouts that we've worked from, like Fighting from the Trenches and The Peace President Goes to War. And I want you to pay close attention to the last paragraph in both of those handouts. Look at the last paragraph in Fighting from the Trenches and The Peace President Goes to War, okay? And what I want you to do is answer the craft question in your knowledge journal. The craft question says, why is a conclusion important? So answer that in your knowledge journal.